everybody, Rick here, and welcome to another video. I wish I would have waved then, but today I'm going to be discussing another deviant idea. I was hoping I would be able to come up with more for the video, but all I have is a Xenojiva deviant idea. Yeah. I hope that I'll be able to do another one of these videos with some more or lower tier monsters than a Xenojiva. But it is a pretty cool deviant, which I like to call the Shadowjiva. Very similar name, but well, not that big of a difference, because it just takes Xeno's normal things and just amplifies that by a million. What I'm saying is it's truly an ocean away from normal Xeno. Because Iceborne's literally an ocean away. But serious, it goes in the same place, so it's not an ocean away. Anyway, back to my point. So, it's going to have a cutscene when it first comes. The Shadowjiva is basically Xeno take all that blue, turn it red, and turn its skin completely black. Hence the name Shadowjiva, except for all the lasers and stuff are a bright red. Kind of like Nakarkos, except for it's a Xenojiva who's learned how to be a Xenojiva by escaping the hunt, by faking its death. That's right, this Xeno, when the hunters had gotten close to killing it and chopped its tail off and stuff, it decided, you know what, I'm going to turn off my lights and flop down on the floor. Let them carve me no matter how painful it is, then just fly off. So he did that. So it was like, oh, quest complete, the Xeno's dead. Carve it, then you leave. Then, after they'd wings raked away, the body lit back up, it stood back up, and it flew off. Shadowjiva evolved to be completely hidden from any hunters. In fact, his attacks from the air were confused with Nakarkos. So the story behind when you actually find him, if he is incorporated into the story, is that there are reports of red lasers shooting things down, and they blame it on a Nakarkos. Eventually, you go to Xenojiva's nest because they say that there were recent sightings of the crystals in the Elder's Recess turning red occasionally when the sapphire star turned black. Now, that is pretty awesome sounding, right? The freaking sapphire star turning black. Well, here's why that happens. You go over there, you look up into the sky, and you see a black thing covering up the stars. Eventually, you see it fly in front of the sapphire star and spread its mighty wings, and that's just a random phone call, and spread its mighty wings as you look up. And you see the general shape of a Xenojiva. All of a sudden, it just starts to dive bomb towards you and shoots a big red laser at you, which is why it's confused with Nakarkos. So then it flies down, hits the ground really hard, leaving those boiling magma patches, and as it nearly gets there, the crystals all turn red. So does the sky and the atmosphere, and it kind of gets a black mist to it as the Shadowjiva arrives, landing powerfully. Then it does a roar, and the fight starts with a laser beam. The second it starts, it's already lasering. And now Shadowjiva is a juvenile Xenojiva. Unlike the original one, which was a newborn baby, this one escaped and became a juvenile. So it matured enough that it's about, by now, quite a bit taller. The difference between like your 5-year-old kid and your just newborn, which is a decently big difference. And you're fighting that version of Xeno, so it's almost impossible to hit him in the head or the tail unless you have a ranged weapon of some sort. He's very powerful. He has a ton of new moves. He's much more faster, more agile. He can use black mist by creating particles from his scales, which is one reason why he blends into the sky, because he creates this mist around him that makes it harder for you to see him. Kind of creates a color blend effect. He shoots new red lasers. He has all the Arch-Tempered Zeno moves. He does them all faster. You know, it's a lot more of an intense fight. So he does one move, then another, kind of like the difference between the Zerg Rathalos and Rathalos. Rathalos is kind of slower in the air, much slower than a Zerg Rathalos is, with supersonic speed compared to a slug, basically. That's kind of what it is, because normal Zeno kind of like floats around, kind of does its attacks with big gaps in between. Shadow Jiva, bam, 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 bam. Almost no gaps between most attacks, which makes it a much more difficult fight if there's barely any gaps in between each attack. So after one attack's landed and you try eat a dodge, mid-dodge, another attack is already being performed. And Shadow Jiva is much smarter than normal Zeno, so he is going to be much harder to destroy. And he does have an ultimate attack that I came up with. He kind of flies in front of the Sapphire Star again, and he does that kind of burst into blue flame that Zeno does, but he bursts into red flame, not orange or anything, just pure red. Then, from all that flame, he'll spread his body out as much as he can. Then he activates his laser, and all that flame on his body makes that laser a lot bigger, because it's all channeled into the laser. And then, if you think the laser's about to hit you, you're wrong. It splits into like 5, 10, or 20 more lasers, depending on how angry he is. So when he's not normal, it'll be like 10 different lasers, all like spiraling around on the ground. When he's enraged, it's 20 lasers, all hitting, doing the normal amount of damage. But he's like constantly, kind of like White Fatalis, except for it's much faster, and they're all constantly there, all over the place. He's just shooting 20 lasers down at once, all individually, all at you when he's enraged in his ultimate attack. Again, he does have that slightly weaker version when he's not enraged, but jeez, is it strong? Would that be strong? Like 20 of the Zeno lasers all hitting at once, as well as it also leaves an extremely large amount of those magma pools, because it's 20 lasers. So by the time it's done, he's gonna land in a swamp of magma. So then it's gonna be impossible to even reach him in the second place after he lands. So it's gonna be really hard to avoid all the beams, but he strategically places it so that there's a very large circle of magma when it ends out, and he lands in the middle of that circle of lava. So then you're just walking through a swamp of lava, knee deep in it, just to get to him. That is how powerful that attack is. And in a gigantic pool of lava that you have to walk through just to reach him. And while he's in that pool of lava, he'll stick to ranged attacks and not really do much melee. Meaning that you have to wait for all that lava to disappear to even get in a single hit unless you have a ranged weapon. And even then, Shadow Jiva can use his newfound dust particles to either completely disappear in the black environment that you're stuck in, because once he does it, all that you see, like only 9 feet around you can actually see. All the rest of it is just pure black. So you can only see a small distance around your hunter. All the rest of it is just completely pitch black and you can't see a thing. That's one of his other special things. So he can also do that to ranged people, as well as those particles will deflect ranged attacks if you're outside of his little cloud, because these clouds do have a limited range. It's only like half the size of the arena, and if you get outside of it, the particles will deflect your attacks, which is why he will also kind of like fling particles at you, and if you dodge them, they won't get in your eyes. but they can get in your eyes, temporarily leaving you completely blind for a little while. Or he can simply just create a dome around himself if you're using a ranged weapon, so that your arrows deflect. But that dome is only temporary, because he just releases black particles from shedding his skin. You know, that would be an insane fight, especially with it being a Xeno'jiiva that's much bigger and actually knows how to fight. Leave your opinion down below about this deviant. I think I might create a second video and just merge these two videos together. So, I don't... Actually, nah, I'm just going to have this as a solo video, but yeah. Xeno'jiiva. The Xeno'jiiva... Xeno'jiiva deviant. The black energy... The red energy surging through this black colored dragon. Yeah, it's a really awesome idea. And hold on a sec, guys. I'll be right back. I just gotta let my dog out of the office. Come on, Snickers, you can go. There you go. Okay, so that's all for today's video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for notifications on all my next videos. I'll see you all later. Bye! Awesome ideas outro. Black and red are super cool and it looks awesome. Yeah.